With the apex of the triangle, go down and then come back around, so we'd see 2 lights and then 3 lights and then see it come swing back up. And I remember having the feeling, this thing's moving with purpose. This thing isn't just tumbling through the sky.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that came from, but... And then once it reached the ceiling and started to descend, it was pretty obvious it was headed in our direction.
Oh, man.
What are these guys doing?
And it got bigger and bigger. And, there was very little conversation between the two of us while we're watching this thing.
Yeah.
My friend made some comment like, boy, it's really moving now or something like that. I don't recall if I even answered him.
Right.
And we were both in the same kind of dazed frame of mind. And we're just on these air mattresses watching this thing. And the closer it gets, the bigger it gets. And we saw it. We saw it move, drop low, and move across. Even with the lights on the apex of the triangle, we could still see a shadow on the forest below us.
Whoa.
Oh.
A black shadow.
Huh.
And it eventually came to a stop right over the meadow. And you can see that meadow from the Google Earth photo is kind of triangular shaped.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It slid right in there. I mean,
Whoa.
and we were camping just off to the side by the tree line.
Okay.
And this thing was huge.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's big.
It was like a Walmart,
Yeah.
And, to this day, I can't understand how this thing wasn't seen in 5 counties.
Yeah.
Or how this thing wasn't seen by the people at the campgrounds that were just a couple miles away.
Right.
Do you recall any noise or anything coming out of it? Or, I mean...
Not at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, it was dead silent. Now, that would change later. But, like I say, the thing's about 3,000 feet over our heads. About as tall as a 30-story office building over our heads. And it's just absolutely enormous. And while we're looking at this thing, from underneath, all we can see underneath is black. It's not illuminated in any way. Pardon me. And there came a light from the center of this thing, right in the middle and in the center. And it was a solid beam of light. It was like a cylinder of white light. Like if you ever seen a high power searchlight cut through fog,
Yeah.
you can see a column of visible light. That's what this was like.
Whoa.
And it was about 6 inches in diameter, and it just bang popped on and landed square in the middle of our campfire.
Oh.
And I look at Toby, he looks at me, and we look at this thing. And, I was almost disinterested. I mean, I'm watching it, but I'm not reacting appropriately. I mean, we should have been in the car and with the tires screaming and getting out of there.
Absolutely.
And you said you kind of felt like an observer rather than a participant. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, we're both, almost sedated, kicked back watching this thing.
Wow.
And that light stayed on in the middle of the campfire for about a minute, and then, boom, turned off again.